The Khmer Rouge regime, which ruled Cambodia from 1975 to 1979, stands as one of the most brutal and devastating periods in modern history. Led by Pol Pot, the communist regime sought to create an agrarian utopia, resulting in the death of an estimated 1.5 to 2 million Cambodians, nearly a quarter of the country's population. This blog post will delve into the rise of the Khmer Rouge, their ideology, key events during their reign, the genocide, international response, and the lasting impact on Cambodia. The rise of the Khmer Rouge. The Khmer Rouge's origins can be traced back to the communist movement in Cambodia during the French colonial period. Pol Pot, whose real name was Saloth Sar, and other future leaders of the Khmer Rouge were influenced by Marxist-Leninist ideology during their time studying in Paris. The group gained momentum in the 1960s, exploiting political instability and social unrest caused by the Vietnam War. By the early 1970s, the Khmer Rouge had become a formidable force, waging a civil war against the US-backed government of Lon Nol. Ideology and objectives. The Khmer Rouge's ideology was a radical form of agrarian communism. They aimed to transform Cambodia into a classless, agrarian society by eliminating private property, money, and religion. Key objectives included autarky, achieving complete self-sufficiency by cutting off Cambodia from the outside world. Agrarian revolution, forcibly relocating urban populations to rural areas to work as farmers. Elimination of enemies, targeting intellectuals, professionals, ethnic minorities, and anyone suspected of opposing the regime. Key events during the Khmer Rouge rule: 1975–1979, April 17, 1975, 1975, 1979, 1976, 1977 to 1978. January 7, 1979, Phnom Penh falls to the Khmer Rouge. The regime immediately orders the evacuation of all cities, forcing millions into the countryside. Implementation of radical policies, including forced labor, starvation, and mass executions. The infamous S-21 prison tool slang becomes a center for torture and extermination. Democratic Kampuchea is officially proclaimed. Pol Pot becomes prime minister. Escalating purges within the Khmer Rouge ranks. Border conflicts with Vietnam intensify. Vietnamese forces, along with Cambodian rebels, capture Phnom Penh, effectively ending the Khmer Rouge regime. However, guerrilla warfare continues for many years. The Cambodian genocide. The Khmer Rouge's policies resulted in widespread death and suffering, meeting the definition of genocide. People were executed for the slightest perceived transgressions, and many more died from starvation, disease, and exhaustion. The regime systematically targeted specific groups, including intellectuals and professionals, teachers, doctors, engineers, and anyone with an education were seen as threats. Ethnic minorities, the Khmer, Muslims, Vietnamese, and other ethnic groups were persecuted and killed. Religious figures, Buddhist monks, and other religious leaders were targeted for their beliefs. International response. The international community was slow to respond to the atrocities in Cambodia. During the Khmer Rouge's rule, the regime was largely isolated from the outside world, making it difficult to gather accurate information. Even after the Vietnamese invasion in 1979, the international response was complicated by Cold War politics. The United States and other Western countries supported a coalition government that included the Khmer Rouge in an effort to counter Vietnamese influence in the region. It was until many years later that serious efforts were made to bring Khmer Rouge leaders to justice. The impact on Cambodia, the Khmer Rouge regime, left Cambodia devastated. The country's infrastructure was destroyed, its economy collapsed, and its social fabric torn apart. The loss of so many people had a profound impact on Cambodian society, leading to a generation of orphans and traumatized survivors. Even today, Cambodia continues to grapple with the legacy of the Khmer Rouge as the country works to rebuild and heal from this dark chapter in its history. Conclusion: the Khmer Rouge regime and the Cambodian genocide serve as a stark reminder of the dangers of extremism and the importance of human rights. The horrors of this period must never be forgotten, and the international community must remain vigilant in preventing similar atrocities from happening again. Cambodia's journey of healing and reconciliation continues, and the world must support its efforts to build a more just and peaceful future.